Good morning. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. We are going to focus on balance this morning. I love practicing balance because, honestly, it's not just for fitness, but it's really important for our day-to-day life. So in order to work on balance, the word balance comes from the root word of to dance and ballet. So we really want to focus not so much on a rigid way of focusing on balance, but really movement wise, softening through poses and finding your core, your central strength, the inner strength from you to create more balance. So please join me on your mat. If you have a block, go ahead and grab the block. If you don't have it, no worries. It's not mandatory. But let's get on top of your mat. And once you get on your mat, I want you to just begin to sit tall. You can either sit on your block, just like so, or just cross one leg in front of the other. If you don't have a block, you can put that to the side. But I like using a block just because it raises your hips and it allows your knees to kind of fall forward. And then once you come into your comfortable seat, just sit tall. Let the palms of your hands rest comfortably on your thighs, either palms down or palms up. Let the shoulders soften away from the ears. Notice if the shoulders are coming up. Maybe you want to take the shoulders up to your ears and all the way back down and let the shoulders just drop. And if it feels good, just allow your eyes to fall shut. Just notice where your body is this morning. Notice any sensations in the body. Maybe if you feel any kind of tightness, notice the tightness. Just become really aware of what's happening in your body this Friday morning. And then see if you can establish your breath. So we're not really forcing anything, but I want you to see if you can notice the breath entering through the nostrils. Feel your breathing, the air traveling through the nostrils, and then allow the breath to travel all the way down to the hips. So some of the tension we feel in the hips stops us from really feeling our full potential of balance, right? So we want to soften through the hips. Feel your breath all the way down to the hips. And then as you exhale, can you feel a softening in the hips? Like just letting whatever residual tension you may be holding in the hips, just allow it to sink, allow it to just kind of melt onto the floor. And do this a few more times. Initially, you may have to just be a little bit more conscious, like consciously moving through it. And then you get to a point where you feel like you don't need the technique anymore and you just kind of are there already. So, but initially we always have to just kind of move through it visually, moving through the technique with your breath. Inhale. Feel the breath all the way down to your hips. And then as you exhale, feel the hips softening, as if you're melting butter. You feel the butter kind of softening and melting. And do this a few more times on your own. Inhale through the nose, feel the nostrils, feel the air through the nostrils, and then all the way down through the heart and the belly and all the way down to the hips. And then as you find yourself, as you find the breath in the hips, feel as if the breath can expand and melt. Just soften all the muscles, all the hip stabilizers. And one last time, inhale. Feel the breath all the way down to the hips. And exhale. soften any residual tension, anything, any unnecessary tension. And then gently begin to open your eyes. Move the block to the side if you're sitting on a block. And we're just going to come onto your left side. So lay down on your left side initially, on your elbow. And I'd like you to have your legs stacked on top of one another, but then move the feet to the corner of your mat so that your feet are going to be kind of a 15 degrees angle from your hips. And then you're going to raise the top leg. And as you inhale, bring the leg to the front. And as you exhale, take the leg back behind you. So notice if you're leaning forward as you're taking the leg back, can you stay on the side body? Your torso doesn't move at all. Inhale, bring the leg forward, and exhale, take the leg back. Inhale, bring the leg forward, your torso stay the same, and then exhale, take the leg back. And then I'm going to add one more thing here. So as you inhale, bring the leg forward, your foot is flexed, then point the toe and take the leg back behind you. And inhale, flex the foot, bring the leg forward, and exhale, point the toe and leg back behind you. And really maintain the movement in the hips. So you're not moving your torso back and forth. If you like to, you can lie down all the way if that's better for you. And take the leg back. Inhale, flex. Exhale, back. Inhale, flex. So you should already be feeling this in the hips. It's a really nice way of waking up the hips, the head of the femur, the thigh bone moving back and forth in the hips. And then you're also waking up the calf and shin muscles. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Couple more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhaling forward, exhaling back, and then pause here for a moment. Now turn the toes up and then bring the heels down, touch the floor behind your left leg. Turn the toes up, bring the toes down and touch the floor in front. So that's the whole movement. Turn the toes up, touch your heel down behind, turn the toes up, touch your toes down in front, and turn. So now you're turning your entire leg, the entire femur bone in the hip socket. Notice that I'm not just turning my knee or ankle, but the entire leg is turning, and then the entire leg is turning and tapping. An entire leg is turning, an entire leg is turning. So these are such simple movements, but you actually really feel all the muscles in the hips waking up and getting stronger. And these are the muscles that really help with balance, right? And tap and forward and tap one more time and forward and tap. Very nice. Bring that knee to your chest. Just pause for a moment. We're going to switch to the other side and then come back to this side. So just go ahead and roll over to the other side. Initially, we want to start with the legs straight. And then you move the feet to the corner of your mat. So the legs are in 15 degrees. And then you lift that leg up. Good. And do that same thing that you did on the other side. So take that leg all the way up and then bring that leg to the front and then back behind you without moving your torso. So make sure that the torso stays to the center as you move the leg to the front and the back. And then we're going to add the flexion and extension in the ankle. So point the toes as you go back and flex the foot as you come forward. Point the toes as you go back and flex as you come forward. And continue with this with your own breath. It doesn't need to be fast or super slow. Just go at your own pace. And I just want to emphasize that you're just moving the leg, really using the hip flexors, the hamstrings, the quadriceps to move the leg so that you're not using momentum with your upper body. Bringing forward and back. Flex the foot as you come forward and then point the toe as you go back. And a few more times on your own. And back, very nice. So I'm already feeling a little fatigue in this leg. It doesn't take much to really feel the movement and feel the muscles working in this pose. And back, and last one, and legs come forward, and then take it back, pause there, turn the entire leg up in the hip socket, bring the heel down, and then lift that leg up, turn the entire leg down, and then tap the toes in front. So heel in the back, and then tap the toe in front. And again, try and minimize the movement in your torso, that the leg is the only thing that's really moving. Heel back, and toe in front. Heel back, and toe in front. Really turn the entire leg, not just the knee and the ankle, but turn and tap, and turn and tap. This is so good for the health of the hips, moving it in the way that the hips were built, that it was intended to move. And a few more. Tap. Very nice. And one more. And tap. Very nice. Draw that knee to your chest. I already feel it in my hips, so I'm sure you do too. And then come back to the first side. And if you have a block, have the block nearby. If you don't have it, no worries. This time you're going to bend the knees. And again, the knees are going to be kind of 45 degrees. So it's not necessarily 90 degrees. It's just 45 degrees. And then we're going to lift that top knee off. So you come into clown pose and then pick up the feet off the ground as well. Good. So the inside edges of your feet stay together. The top knee, the right knee is up towards the sky. The bottom knee is down towards the floor. And then you're just going to bring the knees together and then lift that top knee up. Keep the heels, keep the inner edges of the feet attached to each other. And lift. Good. And take it down and tap and lift. And down and tap and lift. So keep the inner edges together, bring the knees together and up. And the benefit of this one is that while you're working the hip stabilizer, you're also working the core muscles because you're lifting the legs off the ground. And lift up and tap and lift up and tap. Your top hand can either be in front as a kickstand to help your balance, or you can have it on your hips or whatever is comfortable for you. You don't need to use the top hand as to balance yourself. You can just challenge it by raising that arm or whatever works best for you. And 5 more. And 4, lift up. And 3, lift up. And 2, keep the feet together. And last one, very nice. Now stay here for a moment. Lift that right knee up. Good, good, good. And then you're gonna lift the bottom knee up too. Good, very nice. Now, keep that right knee where it is, and you're just gonna bring the bottom knee towards the top knee. And lower the bottom knee down, and then bring the bottom knee towards the top knee. Good. So now you're really tapping into your core, to the core strength. And lift that knee up. Good. And lower down. And we're just going to do 5 more of those. So lift that knee up and down, and 4 more. Bring it up and down, and 3 more. Bring it up And down, and 2 more. Good, and last one, keep the heels together and lower everything down. Very, very nice. And we're gonna switch over to the other side. You can shake it out in the middle if you like to. Take that leg out to the side, to the other side. And you're gonna bend the knees and not 90 degrees, but 45 degrees. So just a nice, comfortable 45-degree angle. Keep the inner edges of your feet together. Lift the top leg up off the bottom leg, and then lift the feet up. Good. And then from here, you're just gonna lower that top knee down and lift up. Lower the top knee. Your left hand, the top hand, can either rest in front to help your balance, or if you don't need it, you can have it on your hip. And you're gonna lift and lower. Good. And lift and lower. And keep going as you do your best to keep your inner edges of your feet together. And I like to keep my feet flexed. That really helps with maintaining the correct formation. And lower and up and lower, and keep going. And 5 more and 4 more and 3 and 2. Last one, and up, and then hold here. And you're just gonna use your left hand as a kickstand, and then just gonna lift that bottom knee up to touch the left knee. And then you're gonna lower that right knee down and lift it back up. We're just gonna do a few of these. So really core stabilizing movements. And make sure you're breathing. Inhale, exhale, and 5 more. And down, and 4, and down, and 3, down, 2, and lower, and last one, and lift up. Beautiful. And then come all the way back down. Very nice. We're just gonna press up and come to tabletop pose, please. If you need to, feel free to put a blanket underneath your knees. And as you come into your tabletop pose, stack all the joints. So make sure that the wrists are directly underneath the elbow, directly underneath the shoulder, and the knee is directly underneath the hips. And then you're just going to have the knees be hip-width apart. Inhale, lift the chest up as you press the top of your feet down towards the floor. And exhale, pull your belly in as you tuck your toes under. Inhale, lift the chest up, send the tailbone up, bring the top of your feet down, press the top of your feet down. And exhale, pull the belly in, tuck your toes, and tuck your tailbone. And then move through this with your own breath. Inhaling, the top of your feet come down, lift the chest up. Exhale, tuck your toes under, pull the belly in. So we're gonna add a little bit more here. Inhale, lift the chest up, send the tailbone up, tuck the top of your feet down. And then from here, you're gonna lift the heels up to your hips, bring the feet down, tuck your toes under, pull the belly in, and then lift the knees off the ground, just a little bit, just an inch. Bring the knees down, inhale, lift the chest up, bring the heels to your buttocks, and exhale, tuck the toes and lift the knees up. Okay, so this is a variation of cat-cow that incorporates your hamstrings. Inhaling, lifting the heels to your buttocks as you lift the chest up. Exhaling, tucking your toes and lift the knees up. Inhaling, come down, lift the chest up, bring the heels to your buttocks. Exhaling, tuck your toes, pull the belly in, and lift the knees up. And one last time, inhale, bring the heels to your buttocks, squeeze your hamstrings. Exhale, bring the feet down, pull the belly in, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, pause here for a moment, and then lower the knees all the way down and go to your child's pose. Bring your head down, forehead down towards the floor. Let your knees be wide apart from each other. You can let your big toes touch, but just rest for a moment. Just let your low back to extend. Take some nice deep breaths into your low back. As you inhale, feel your low back stretching. As you exhale, feel how you can soften just a little bit more. And do this one more time, inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. And then coming back on all fours, please. Have your index finger pointing straight ahead so that the webbing between the index finger and the thumb can really press down onto the earth. Your fingers are spread apart from each other. Inhale, lift the chest up, take the right leg out behind you, flex that foot, and then reach the left hand in front, turn the palm in. Take a nice deep breath in, inhale. Now, can you pull the belly in so that your back, you still have a natural arch in your back, but at the same time, you're really engaging the core. Lift the left arm forward as the right leg reaches back behind you. Sunburn, inhale. Exhale, bring the knee down, bring the hand down. Inhaling, lifting the chest up, take the left leg back behind you, pull the belly in, reach the right arm in front, and exhale, lower everything down. Inhaling, right leg, left arm, exhale, lower. Inhaling, left arm, right arm, left leg, and exhale, lower. So we're going to do this one more time and then add on to it. Right leg, left arm, and lower, and left leg, right arm. Good, and lower. This time, as you lift the right leg, pause here, lift the left arm all the way up, and then take that left arm out to the side and right leg out to the side. So notice that you're kind of creating imbalance right now. Whenever we create imbalance, we're trying to find our balance. So allowing yourself to kind of get in balance, find your body, tunes your body to find the balance, if that makes sense. Bring everything back to the center, lower everything down, inhaling left leg, right arm, and then take the right arm out to the side and left leg out to the side. Now, allow yourself to feel that imbalance. Once you feel the imbalance, then your body is able to find the balance itself. And then bring it back in and lower everything down. And we're gonna add on to that right leg, left arm in front, left arm out to the side, right leg out to the side. Now pause here for a moment and then bring that right leg down to the side and lift your body all the way up. So you come into what's called the gate pose. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, fold over to the right. Inhale, all the way back up. Exhale, fold over to the right. So you can stay here and practice this. This is a really good movement to stretch out all the side body. Or you can begin to bring your left hand down to the earth as you float the right leg up. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, fold over to the right. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, bring the left hand down and float the right leg up. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, fold over to the right. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, left hand comes down, float the right leg up. And then as you do this a couple more times, I want you to also notice if the shoulders are coming up to the hip. Can you let the shoulders soften so that you can really let the core muscles work? Instead of creating tightness in the shoulder, you can really focus on the stretch on the side body and the contraction of the hip stabilizers. Last time, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Beautiful. And then bring everything back down. Come back to your tabletop pose. Inhale, the left leg goes up. The right arm comes to the front. Take the right arm out to the side. Left leg out to the side. Pause here. Really engage your core. Pull the belly in. And then lower the left foot down. And then lift your torso up. So you come into gate pose on this side. Inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, fold over to the left. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, fold over to the left. One more time, then we're gonna add on, if you like to, it's always, nothing is mandatory, it's your option. Come back to the center. Exhale to the left to gate pose. Inhale, come back to the center, bring the right hand down, and then float the left leg up. This always helps if you have a little cushioning underneath your right knee. So if you need to, feel free to put a blanket there. Exhale, inhale, come back to the center, bring the right hand down and lift the left leg up. Inhaling back to the center, exhaling, fold. Inhaling to the center, exhale. And you know, a lot of times too, what I've noticed, the reason our balance is challenged sometimes, it's because of tension that we hold in certain body parts. So if your right leg is more tense, then you know, we're not able to really use our core muscles, and therefore we fall out, or we are not balanced. So it's not just strengthening, it's also creating flexibility. You want the body to be nimble and flexible so that we can really feel it and use it as the muscles were intended to be. And then lift that leg up. And then lower that left hand down, bring the left leg down. Inhale, come back into your cow pose, and exhale, pull the belly in, round the back, tuck the chin, and you're gonna take it all the way back to your heels. So this is a really good way to stretch at the bottom of the feet, plantar fascia. If this is absolutely impossible to sit, I would suggest that maybe you have a block, you can put it underneath your hips and stay here for a moment. And if you like to challenge yourself, you can sit back and maybe come forward a little bit, tap the toes, and then go back again. But I want you to see if you can really stretch the bottom of your feet, okay? If this is absolutely impossible, you can't do that on your knees, then you can come on your seat and just kind of pick up your feet and just guide your toes up to your knees. So whatever works best for you, but it's really a good practice to stretch out the bottom of the feet, especially if you tend to get plantar fasciitis. When it really allow these muscles, this band of tissues at the bottom of your feet to stretch. And we're just going to stay here for just another moment. So whatever you chose, whether you're on your seat or whether you're in front leaning forward or whether you're sitting on your heels, just pause here for a moment so you can really stretch it out. Inhale. I know for some of you, this is like no big deal. And for some of you, this may be like the worst pause, but just hang in there with me for a moment and then slowly come back out. You're gonna tap the top of your feet to get to the floor. And then however you can get there, slowly you're gonna come to the top of your mat. So come onto the top of your mat, please. And as you bend your knees, just begin to slowly fold forward. So bend the knees. You can always put blocks under the hands. This is a really good way of getting into your hamstrings slowly. Or you can always have a chair in front of you so that you can lean on the chair, or if you have a wall in front of you, that works really well too. Just lean on the wall, and this way you can really lean back. And as you lean back and lift the tailbone up, you really get deep into the hamstring. So stay here for a moment, and then bend the right knee, straighten the left knee, and bend the left knee, straighten the right. Okay, so we're just going to go side to side for a moment. Bending one knee, straighten the left, bending the right, straighten the left, right. Go side to side as you need to. And each time you're bending, so as I'm bending my right knee, I'm straightening the left knee and lifting that left hip up towards the sky. And then opposite side, bend the left knee, straighten the right knee, and lift the right hip up towards the sky. So by lifting the hip, you're kind of creating a little bit of a twist. Inhale, bend the right knee, straighten the left, and lift the left hip up. Maybe you go a little bit deeper into the twist, and then the opposite side. And if you like to, you can incorporate the arms. So bending the right knee, straighten the left, reach the left arm up, exhale, lower the left hand down, bend the left knee, straighten the right, and reach the right. And inhale, lower, and exhale, lift and twist, and inhale, lower, and exhale, lift the right arm and twist. Very nice. And then inhale, come back to the center, bend the knees, lift the chest up, and exhale, fold forward. Keep the knees bent. As you keep the knees bent, you can just really just allow your low back to stretch out and bring the head down. Let the head just drop, just drop. You can sway your upper back side to side. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale. And then with your inhalation, bring your hands to your hips and just very gently roll up one vertebrae at a time. Keep your chin to your chest, especially if you tend to get lightheaded as you stand up. Keep the chin to your chest. Okay. Take a nice big step out with your left foot. So I have only maybe about 2 or maybe maximum 3 feet distance in between the back foot and the right foot. But I'd like you to take that right foot out to the right a little bit more. So in this way, you find room to move the hips forward, okay? And then just bend that right knee slightly. And see, notice how I bend the back knee. Can you begin to press that thigh bone back a little bit more so that you feel the stretch all the way through the back side of that left leg. So your right knee is bent, your left leg becomes straight, not hyperextended, but becomes straight. Keep pressing, keep energizing that back leg. I want you to really focus on that back leg. Press the heel down. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, begin to reach your fingertips forward. Good. So really keep that back leg nice and energized. That's really important in where we're gonna go. Inhale, lift the arms up, begin to straighten that right knee, and then maybe reach back behind you. Exhale, bend the right knee and reach forward. Keep pressing that left heel back down towards the earth. Inhale, begin to reach up, straighten the right knee, reach back behind you. And as you reach back behind you, feel as if I'm lifting my torso up. So you can even put your hands on your rib cage and lift your rib cage out of your waist, okay? And then exhale, come forward, bend the right knee and lean forward. Press that left heel down. Inhale, straighten the right knee, reach up and maybe reach back a little bit. Keep energizing that left leg. Exhale, bend the right knee and reach forward. And one more time, inhaling, push the earth away so you can straighten the right knee. Reach up, not back, but reach up. Good. And exhale, bend that right knee and come forward. Very nice. And then as you come forward, lower the hands down. Bring the hands behind you. You can either interlace your fingers or you can grab opposite elbows. Or sometimes it helps if you bring the knuckles together behind you too. See what works best for you. And if none of those work, then just extend the arms behind you. Reach the fingertips back behind you. Now from here, I'm going to ask you to pick up the left heel off the ground. And you're going to be in this kind of an aerodynamic pose. So your fingers are reaching back, or you're holding, or you're interlacing. And your left leg is nice and straight, your right knee is bent. And then from here, you're just going to slowly begin to drag your left toes to the right foot. And then drag the left toes way back behind you. So that's it. This is it. This is all we're doing. Bring the toes up to meet, and then take the toes back and bend the knee. Bring the toes up to meet the right. Okay? If and only if you feel like you're strong and you want to challenge yourself, next time you're bringing the left toes to your right toes, you can slowly begin to hover the toes and bring the left knee back. And then take the left leg back and tap and bring the knee up to your chest. Good. So whatever level is appropriate for you, either you're dragging the toes or taking them back, or you're bringing the knee up and back. And if you really feel strong, then you can bring the knee up and then take the leg back into your warrior three pose and knee up and take it back to warrior three. So see, wherever you are, you can either make it a little bit more challenging, or you can challenge your balance wherever you are. Remember, balance means to dance. So feel whatever works best for you today. Maybe you just want to stay here and feel the movement and expansion in the body. And we're going to do it one more time and then switch to the other side. Very nice. And then lower that left leg next to your right. Just pause here for a moment and feel the difference in the body. So maybe you really feel the right hips a little bit more. Maybe you feel the left hamstring. Just notice where you're feeling that last movement. And then step back with your right foot. So I'm going to turn around here so you can see me. So right foot back. And again, the distance between the feet is not that wide. It's maybe 2, maximum 3, depending on the length of your legs. And then step that left foot out to the left a little bit more. So this gives more room for your hips to move forward. Now, can you really plant that right leg back, right heel back down to the floor as you're strengthening and lengthening the leg? The back of your right leg is pressing down. The quadricep is pressing into your hamstring, and you're not hyperextending that right knee, but you're lifting the kneecap up. So this leg is like grounded. It's so strong right now. Bend the left knee. Good. And then as you bend the left knee, reach the arms up towards the sky. Inhale. Lean forward as you strengthen and lengthen the right leg back behind you. And then exhale. Begin to straighten the knee, left knee, and reach towards the top of the back ceiling, back wall. Inhale, coming forward, bend the left knee. Exhaling, push the earth away. Keep that right leg strong and then reach back behind you. Good. Inhaling, coming forward, bend the left knee. Exhaling, push the earth away as you reach up and back. So really lifting out of your waist. You don't want to dump through the low back as you're going back. You want to lift out of the waist and reach up. Inhaling, coming forward, reach forward. Exhaling, reach back. Keep that right leg strong. That back leg wants to constantly bend and fall asleep. I want you to really consciously press that right heel onto the ground. And back, inhaling, and exhaling one more time. Inhaling, lift up, and exhaling, come forward. Now pause here for a moment, lower the arms down. Keep that left knee bent, take the hands behind you. So now you're going into that aerodynamic pose. Lift the right heel off the ground. It's almost like as if you're, getting ready to launch forward. Your hands can stay here, or you can interlace the fingers behind you, or grab opposite elbows, or the knuckles come together, whichever one works best for you. Inhale, lift the chest up, and as you lean forward, slowly begin to drag the right toes to the left, and take the right leg back, and then coming forward. Good. So you can do this, and notice how the sides are different, right? So depending on whether we've had surgery or trauma, or maybe just, regular wear and tear, that one side is always stronger than the other. So choose appropriately for this side. And then maybe on this side you feel stronger and you want to just drag the knee up to your chest and then tap the toes down and take the toes back behind you. Or maybe you want to challenge yourself a little bit more as you hover the left toes off the ground and go into warrior 3, and then bring the knee up. So whichever one, remember you're in the comfort of your own home, nobody can see you. So do whatever is appropriate for you. There's no competition. Either hovering the leg up or dragging the leg down. And take the leg back and out. Good. I'm always marveled at how fast this class goes. I have so much fun teaching it. I look up on my watch and I'm like, oh my goodness, we're almost done. So you're doing amazing. Hang in there. Take the leg back behind you and up. Very nice. And one more time. Either hover into your warrior 3 pose and then bring the knee up and place that right foot down. Excellent. So take a nice deep breath in, reach all the way up, and exhale, bring your hands to the heart center and have your feet be hip width apart. So take a look down at your toes. And I'd like you to see if you can have the toes pointing forward. And the knees and the toes are directly on the toes. So they're not wide apart from each other and they're together. Okay. And then lean to the right and see if you can just pick up that left foot and inch off the ground. That's it. And then lean to the left and pick up that right foot off the ground. So you notice that I am swaying a little bit side to side just because that's the way it is. Your legs, you want to keep room for the legs. So lean to the one side and pick up the other side. Excuse me. And lean and pick up. And lean and pick up. Good. Now, this is a really good place to start and practice. If you like to go a little bit farther, next time you lean over to the left, pick up the right foot off the ground, and then bring the right toes in front and tap. and then lift and tap, and lift and tap, and lift and tap, and lift and tap. So now I'm leaning over to my left a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can adjust my torso and bring my torso back to the center. Good. So the hips are not switched over, but the hips are really actually trying to stay in the center as much as possible. And all you're doing is tapping the right toes down and lifting the left leg up. This is very similar to what we did on our side before. Now we're going to add on to this, of course, toes up, and then you're going to take the leg out and then take the leg back. So can you do this without shifting your weight side to side? In other words, can you keep the torso to the center as you do this? And you can always tap in the center, or you can just drag your toes back and forth. If you want more challenge, you lift the leg up a little bit higher and back behind you without shifting your torso at all. It's 100% of the leg moving, or I should say probably 90%, not 100%. And one more time, and out, and back, and out, and back, and this time pause here in front. So your toes can stay on the ground, but externally rotate that hip, and then lift the toes off the ground, bend that left knee a little bit deeper, and then turn the toes in and out, in and out. So it's like the clown pose that we did at the beginning, but now you're really challenging your hip stabilizers on the left. You're strengthening the leg muscles on the left. Remember that the toes can always stay down. You're just going to internally and externally rotate it. Or you can hover the toes. And last one. And then next time the knee is out to the side, pause here. Either the toes are down or you're hovering. And then see if you can begin to straighten that left knee a little bit more so you come into this version of tree pose. And inhale, reach all the way up. Very nice. And then lower the hands down, bring the foot down. Whew, that was a good one on the hips for sure. Shift your weight over to the right, and then your left toes come to the front. And you're just going to do little taps, and tap, and tap and lift, and tap and lift, and tap and lift. Good. And tap and lift. So we're really using, when we're doing this, we're using the hip flexors, quadriceps, the deep psoas muscles in the hips, and lift, and lift. Good. And 5 more, and 4, and 3, 2, last one. Good. So we're going to add the side to side ones, lift and out to the side, and then take it back behind you. And try not to move your torso whatsoever. So the torso stays to the center as the leg moves to each direction. Front, side, and back, and front, side. I put a little extra side one in there. Front, side, and back. Good. Remember, you can always just drag the toes, or you can lift up a little bit higher, as long as your torso stays to the center. And side and back. One more time. Front, side, and back. And then last one on front. Pause here, either toes down or toes hovering. Turn the knee out to the side, and then pause here. And see if you can hover the toes just a little bit. That right knee is bent. That gives you a nice groundedness. So turn the knee out, and then turn the knee in. and out and in. Remember, the toes can always stay down on the floor, and all you're gonna do is turn the knee out and in, or you can pick up the toes off the ground to challenge yourself a little bit more, and keep that right knee bent to protect the knee, and out and in. Very nice. I know this is really a good challenge. And next time it's out, pause here. And then see now if you can straighten that right knee just a little bit more so you come to this hovering version of tree pose. You can raise the arms all the way up. Inhale. Beautiful. And exhale, lower everything down. Very nice. I feel it in my hips. I'm sure you do too. So shake the legs out. Come to the top of your mat, please. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And exhale, as you bend your knees, keep bending your knees, and you can lower your head down, lower your torso down, and do that same thing we did earlier with bending one knee, straighten the other. And then you're just going to gently come all the way down to the earth. Sit tall if you can. Extend your heels away from your hips. And then take that right leg all the way up, and you can cross the right ankle on top of the left knee. So if this doesn't work for you, you can do it laying down on your back, figure 4. We really worked your hips today, so it's really a good practice to stretch out all the muscles that we work. If you bring your heel a little bit closer to your hips and sit taller, you might feel the stretch a little bit more. But do what's right for your knee. If at any point you feel any pain in the knee whatsoever, I'd like you to back up, come out of the pose. So either on your back or sitting tall. And either way, your right foot is flexed to protect the knee. If you're sitting tall, lift the chest up. Keep flexing the foot. And either way, on your back or sitting, you want to just kind of gently let that right knee open to the side. So you move the right knee away from that right shoulder. And then just breathe into the stretch. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. And then slowly release. If you're sitting up, you move the left heel away and extend that right leg out. If you're laying down, just go ahead and extend the right leg. Just move the knees side to side a little bit. Windshield wiper in your knees, and then take the left leg out up towards the sky, left ankle on top of the right knee. And my left hip is always a little bit tighter, so I instantly feel this here. And sometimes once it starts opening up a little bit more, I can bring the right heel a little bit closer, but go wherever is appropriate for you. You can do this laying down on your back as well. And then just pause here for a moment. If you're sitting, see if you can really lift the chest up. So instead of rounding the back, if you feel that you're rounding your back, I'd rather you lay down on your back than. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Keep that left foot flexed, and energetically, you don't have to push the left knee open, but just kind of move the left knee away from the left shoulder. Keep breathing into the stretch. Keep breathing into the tension. And then gently release out of the pose. We're all gonna lay down on our backs. Bring your knees to your chest. Rock a little bit side to side. You did really well. You did an amazing job. That was not an easy practice. The hip stabilizers are really critical in our balance, especially as we age. You definitely want to keep it strong and flexible. Not just strong, but also flexible. And then take your knees over to the left into a nice little twist. You can raise the right arm overhead and stretch out that entire right side. Let your body just quiet down for a moment before you go and continue on to the rest of your day. Bring your knees to the center and take your knees all the way over to the right and stretch it out. And now let your breath be completely natural. So just breathe into your belly. Feel how you can be really active in one moment and then just totally let go of that active moment. So you become more introspective, more quiet. Then bring the knees back to your chest once again. Bring the bottom of your feet together, outer edge of the feet on the floor. Let your knees open to the side so you stretch out the inner thighs and the psoas muscles. We really work these as well. And close your eyes for a moment. Just let your body integrate what just happened. Let the shoulders get soft away from the ears. Open and close your jaws to make sure that you're not holding any tension in the jaws at all. Your forehead is smooth. Your right hand can rest on your heart, your left hand on your belly. And just do 3 deep breathing breaths. So inhale through the nose, feel your breath traveling all the way to the belly. And as you exhale, now feel that extension, that relaxation, just like we did at the beginning of the class, except now you're on your back. So inhale, really feel the belly expand. Exhale, feel the softening in your hips. And one more time, inhale. Feel your belly expand. And exhale, feel as if your low back can release. And if this feels good, you can stay here. If you like to, you can bring your knees to your chest, rock a little bit, and then just relax into your final pose, Shavasana. So extend your legs straight. Please let the palms of your hands open up towards the sky as you soften the shoulders away from the ears. Let the back of your skull rest comfortably on the floor. And just close your eyes for a few more moments. Just let yourself feel the peace that you've created. You can stay here for as long as you like to. In fact, I recommend that you stay maybe for 3 or 4 more minutes. But we're almost at the top of the hour. So I'm gonna sign off here, but thank you so much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to see you, and thank you for trusting me in your journey on your fitness and health and well-being. Namaste.